This is lesson 5 on the rapture of the church. Um, so we talked a little bit about why the world will have to go to the mark of the beast the day after the rapture. They'll have to go to the mark of the beast because they'll have to know who's here and who's not here. The computers will crash. They'll not know who's got a payment, who doesn't have a payment. So for all of those reasons, it'll have to happen. Also, they'll have to have a census of who's actually here and who's not here. The only way to have a census, the only way to establish a new economic system based on numbers, the only way to quell the violence that will take place will be the mark of the beast. Now, there's a lot of things that could happen just before the coming of Christ. I anticipate that there'll be a worldwide, at least a nationwide blackout, possibly just prior to a thermonuclear war in America. I believe all those things are going to take place very quickly. I used to have the concept of people waiting in line to get their mark in America, but I've since believed that America will be so devastated that they won't even have a government functioning. It'll be a wasteland, an ashtray. I believe that would be a good way to describe America. Now, in other places of the world, China, um, Europe, places like that, these things, those lines to get the mark of the beast will happen. But I just don't believe personally that that will happen here in America. A couple of things to continue and circle back to the idea, as it was in the days of Noah, so will it also be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Remember that the instrument that God used to both condemn and punish the world and to deliver his people was water. That water flooding the earth is what it was a two-edged sword. The one sword, it punished the evildoers, and the people that were against God. With the other hand, it delivered the people of God. So you see God using the same instrument, both to deliver and to execute judgment. The second coming of Christ is the tool, I believe, that God will institute to both punish the world beyond the 7 year tribulation, and in the fact that taking people up is the same sword. That it's a double-edged sword. Taking up people will deliver the children of God, but it will also bring judgment on the people of the world. Another thing that I've observed, and these are just observations that you might want to consider and pray about and comment about. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially about this particular thought. A lot of the Jews rejected Jesus because he refused to deliver them from the Romans. In all of their doctrine and belief of the second coming, they believed in a general, a great military. In fact, Messiah means military general, that they were going to come and deliver them from the Romans. Well, there are a bunch of believers out here that believe that Jesus is here to deliver us from the hand of the enemy in the same way that we thought we were to be delivered in the first coming. Now, I don't doubt that the coming of Christ is going to cause the delivering of the children of God from the evil that is going to come. But don't think for a minute we will not have the heat turned up to an almost unbearable degree. And I don't mean a physical heat. What I mean by that is the powers that be will hate Christianity. Someday we're going to stand in heaven and we'll have a conversation. We'll talk about how bad we had it here as Christians in America. Well, we lost our jobs and he called me bad names. And then the person you're talking to may reply and say, well, I was eaten by a lion and my wife and children were used as torches. I mean, compared to the tribulation that some saints have put through, we have it very, very, very easy. But I think just before the second coming of the Lord, if Hitler can talk millions of people to go into gas chambers and do the things that he did, there's just no telling the level of persecution Christians will have before and prior to the coming of Jesus Christ. But I promise you that whatever happens, it will be well worth it. For I reckon that the trouble in this day is not worthy to be compared to the joy that will follow in that year to come. So look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Jesus is coming all too soon, and all too soon it will be time for us to enjoy the marriage supper of the Lamb, and our redemption draweth nigh. May God keep you.